Good morning, everybody. This is Judith A. Cope. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it for a minute. Yeah, happy April 1st. I hate April Fool's Day. Most people aren't clever enough to make it that interesting. And usually they go for shock factor, something horrible. And then you're like, oh, thank God it's not true. Like, that's too much for me. But it is a new moon. It's a new season. And, we're getting into spring for sure. And here it's nice and cold and rainy. This is my favorite kind of day, except I had to be out in it, and that I don't love. But I got a cool loaner car, and I had to get a brake repair. And they told me about it in January. But you know how when they come at you with all of those things, it's like, no, I'll wait on it. Man, I took that trip. I went to Atlanta, and those mountains, my brakes were like, they weren't kidding. You might want to get us fixed. And it was like, shit. Those mountains and those trucks and everybody who's familiar with that route, they go as fast as humanly possible. And I'm like, I don't even know what's around the bend. And so then you're going down the mountain at some point and you're just trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to stop? And then on my way home, it was raining. So I was like, oh, shit, I got to get the brakes fixed. So I chose today. And now my brakes are getting fixed. That's why my podcast is a little late. I don't have anything specific to talk about, but that doesn't stop me. I feel like we're on the precipice of great change. And more than anything, you just have to be an excellent editor of what you let in and out of your brain. What are you going to think about? What are you going to receive? All of it can't be true. You know what I mean? Even if you just do a cursory scroll through YouTube, it's the end of the world. It's the beginning of the world. It's the end of everything we've ever known. It's the beginning of a brand new. Every other thing is like doom and gloom. The economy is collapsing. This is a great opportunity for the economy, for you to thrive and build something. So it's like you gotta figure out that everybody's not right. Some people don't know what they're talking about. Some people aren't invested in telling you the truth. They just want likes and clicks and shares, and they want to get that YouTube revenue. One thing I can assure you is I have never said anything just to fool you or trick you or make you listen, which is why I'm fully convinced that my podcast isn't one of the more popular in the world, because I talk about things I think that matter and you should be prepared for. You should know what's going on. You should do your paperwork for your loved ones. You should make sure you don't want to go to probate court. You should have a power of attorney. All of those things mean something to me, and I share them ad nauseum because I want you to be ready. I wasn't ready. It was hard. And when you're taking care of a person, mourning a person, that is not the time you want to start running around trying to find a notary public to get all your paperwork done or to fill out something on the internet. Most people have a very simple profile. I'm not trying to dismiss anybody. I'm not trying to diminish anybody, but most people are not billionaires. And so to get their paperwork done is relatively easy. You can do it on a software package and just do it. You need power of attorney over finances, power of attorney over health. Those two things, especially once somebody starts to show signs of an illness, and it doesn't matter what the illness is, and it doesn't matter what they say. My brother was diminished capacity for years, but he wanted to do his own finances. When he finally let me take over his finances, I knew he was really, really sick. And so you have to make those tough decisions. You have to do the things that nobody else wants to do. And this podcast caters to those people. And I honestly believe the value that I bring should be #1 podcast in the world. But it's not, and that's okay. Because the people who listen really value what I say and appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys. You can listen to anybody in the world, and a lot of people show up every day to hear what I have to say, and I really, really appreciate that, because I don't take this lightly. I've been doing this since 2017. I'm obviously committed to it, and you can hear my arc. You can hear my arc from somebody who was staunchly behind voting and the government, and I didn't like Republicans and all this stuff. And I'm still not a huge Republican fan, but I'm also not a Democrat fan. That is one feckless party. And I was already an independent, but I believed in the systems that were in place. But now it feels like all the systems are failing, except criminal justice for poor people. If you're wealthy and you have means, you can cut backdoor channels and you can bribe people and you can do all this other stuff, because I'm watching Billions and I'm thinking that makes sense. That's why a lot of these rich people don't have to suffer consequences, because they buy people off. And they do that constantly and repeatedly. And, it's just part of the process. But of course, if you're a bus driver or a construction worker or somebody who delivers for Amazon, if you're a manager at Amazon at night, if you commit a crime, you're going to do the time, because you're not clever or elusive enough or rich enough to get out of that. But, take my advice, don't do crimes. Just don't do them. That's the easiest way. I was not a huge fan of Donald Trump. I'm still not. But so much has happened in my life since he was the president the first time that I just don't have energy for him. I don't want to worry about him all day. Life is short. Life is precious. I remember when my mom was my exact age. And it goes fast. Those 30 years go fast. And if you're spending your time wasting it on bullshit and worrying about stuff that may or may not happen, you're going to be a very, very miserable old person, because you're going to look back and be like, man, I wasted all that time. You have to believe that God has a plan for your life, that God has a plan for this universe. If you don't want to believe that, that's fine. Do what you do. But on this podcast, I believe that God has a plan for each and every one of us. And you came here with a mission. And only you and God know what that mission is. And a lot of people in your life are going to try to talk you out of it. But that's not between you and them. It's between you and God. So you have to figure out what you came here for. There is something about you that is as unique as your fingerprint. Think of all the people on the planet. There are no two fingerprints that are alike. We're all different. We all came coded with our own special gift. And it may be huge and it may be small. You may be a pawn. You may be a queen. Who knows? But you were where you were supposed to be for a very specific set of things to happen. So, don't inundate yourself with this terrible, terrible news. It's going to do what it's going to do anyway. And half of it is lies. We don't know what's true. We don't know what these people are really doing. They tell you it's one thing, but it's almost always something else. So use your judgment, use your discernment, stay focused, have a serious talk with God with a humble servant's heart, not the bullshit. Most of y'all, I don't want to project. A lot of people, I'm assuming, pray in a way that is disrespectful. You know what I mean? God, why don't you be doing what I ask you to do? And all that kind of stuff. And maybe not that extreme, but there's some version of, God, just tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't think those are effective prayers. I mean, you can have that conversation with God if you want to. That's your choice. But I do believe that humbling yourself, really having a servant's heart, not just pretending to have one like my old boss, one of my old bosses, really be a humble person. God knows the truth. When you start lying, you're only lying to yourself and the people you're trying to fool, and it's hurtful to you. So I would suggest having a real, authentic, loving, kind conversation with God and watch your life transform, and have it every day. I say my revised Ho'oponopono prayer every day, and it brings me such comfort and such calm. And it goes like this. I love you, God. I'm sorry I don't always recognize your love and divine orchestration over every moment of my life. And then I added, including this one. Please forgive me. Thank you for everything all the time. And then I say, please deliver us from evil, seen and unseen, forces known and unknown. And then I may add something after that, but that's the basic. And it is quite effective. And I think everybody should do that every day. And we do need to be delivered from evil, because there are a lot of evil people out here and they have no good intentions for you. They're not interested in your life or your family or your children, the welfare of everybody. They don't care. They don't care that they're feeding you this terrible, nasty food. You know, I watched one doctor said that there's 100+ ingredients in a Chick-fil-A sandwich. I think it was the baked one. And then I was watching this other brother last night, and he was talking about, it's 50 ingredients in some other brand of chicken sandwich. Like, why do we need all these ingredients? And he said that the chemicals in them were all man-made. Why do we need man-made chemicals in our food? What is so good about Chick-fil-A? You know what I mean? Like, when you break it down, if you know how to cook, your chicken at home tastes better. It does. And if it's tasting good, if it's tasting better to you at Chick-fil-A, it's because they put a chemical in it. Ooh, turn on your brain. Turn on your spiritual brain. Ask for God's guidance and protection, and you will receive it. And that's my message for today. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you're inspired. I hope that you're encouraged. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share it, listen to it. Give me 5 stars. I really would like to grow this podcast, not because I'm particularly interested in being famous. Never wanted to be famous. Always wanted to be rich. Never particularly wanted to be famous, but I did want to have influence, and I did want to be able to positively impact the world. And that's what I hope I do every day. I'm not perfect. If you look for flaws, you will find them. And I'm okay with that, because my job is I'm not waking up every morning and compelled to make you like me. I'm waking up every morning because I'm compelled to spread love and light in a very, very dark world. And I want you to be inspired to spread your love and your light, and that's how we'll make it through. Have an amazing April 1st. I've got no jokes. I hate April Fool's Day. I think it's horrible. But it's just like Halloween. It just is what it is. But at least I don't have to go into an office and have people try to prank me all day. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you so much. Take care.